Munchausen syndrome by proxy, or MSBP, is defined as a parenting disorder in which the parent either fabricates an illness or induces an illness in their child. Med Terms 2004. The parents cause illnesses or lie about their children having illnesses in order to receive attention and concern from others, usually doctors, nurses, or other family members. It is considered by doctors to be a psychological disorder. MSBP is a very rare disease with about 1,000 cases of it a year. Although considered a disorder, it is also a severe form of child abuse, with 9 to 31% of victims eventually dying. eMedicine, 2011. Children between ages 14 months to 6 years of age face the biggest risk of falling victim to MSBP. eMedicine, 2010. It is extremely hard to diagnose this disorder, with many claiming that it is just another way to excuse mothers from abusing their children, and others claiming that it is a serious disorder. MSBP is a form of Munchausen syndrome in which an individual fabricates, exaggerates, or induces illnesses in themselves for attention. Many parents that have MSBP suffered from Munchausen syndrome, causing themselves illnesses before they had their own children. Mayo Clinic, 2011. Parents suffering from MSBP also often have medical experience themselves, and therefore many times mimic symptoms of diseases in their children, and this makes it hard for doctors to diagnose these children because they cannot find medical causes for their illnesses. MSBP offenders will show great concern for their children's condition. They will visit every medical specialist, clinic, hospital, etc., looking for an answer to why their child is so sick. They are very good at manipulating doctors into performing unnecessary procedures and surgeries on their children. This Concerned Mother Act also makes it very difficult to diagnose disorder. Many physicians feel extremely bad for these mothers and therefore do not want to accuse them of causing harm to their own child. While there are many cases of MSBP in which mothers simply lie about their children being sick and do not actually cause harm to them, there are some offenders that take it to a very dangerous extreme. Let's look at some examples of famous MSB cases. Perhaps the most famous MSBP case is that of Mary Beth Tinning. Tinning had 9 children throughout her life, one of them adopted, and they all mysteriously died within 90 days of one another. They had all been brought into the hospital by their mother, Tinning, who claimed they had all either began convulsing or had just stopped breathing. Most of her children were initially revived by doctors and would go home only to be brought back hours later, brain dead and eventually dead. Another case that received nationwide attention just recently was that of Blanca Montaño. In February 2011, Montaño took her 2 young children into the hospital, and doctors soon diagnosed them with rare infections and no cause. Although the little boy recovered, the doctors began to realize that any time Montaño was left alone with her daughter became worse and worse. Eventually, doctors forbid the mother from visiting the little girl anymore, and she began to recover. It was later discovered that Montaño was injecting her own baby girl with fecal matter. She was diagnosed with Munchausen syndrome by proxy. MSBP offenders typically, when caught, will deny that they have done anything wrong at all and that they are loving and caring mothers. They will almost always claim that the people around them are unwilling to help their children. Because of this great concern these offenders display, it is important to see past these mothers' well-masked abuse and help bring justice and safety to the unfortunate victims of this terrible disorder. For more information as well as signs that someone may be an MSBP offender, you can visit www.emedicine.com/medscape. Thank you for listening, and I hope you all enjoyed this information.